Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our journey in discovering one new Chinese expression a day. Yesterday, we talked about actually Chinese anthem, and in Chinese, it's called 义勇军进行曲. 进行曲 is march, kind of march band kind of music, and 义勇军 is volunteered military soldiers. So that's 义勇军进行曲. It was created in 1935 during the Japanese occupation, and later on, the new communism China used kind of voted to use this song because it's inspiring the whole nation to fight back to preserve their Chinese identity. Okay, so today we have continuation with 勇敢的心. And you can see here, I use a circle to mean it's light tone. Chinese have 4 tones, right? That's a known fact, known knowledge about the Chinese language. And then this circle is considered a light tone. That's kind of lightly pass. It's almost comparable to English when we pronounce English multiple syllable letters, words, some syllables are not emphasized and they just quickly passed, and mostly in the sound. That's not, you don't want to pronounce that to its full. You want to quickly just keep the tempo, but without to fully make the vowel sound pronounced. So that's how language work. I guess there are some emphasizes, but there are also not so important major sound factor, but it keeps enough syllables so that the listener can understand. But at the same time, I keep the efficiency of pronouncing quick enough. Not everything is fully rounded out. So that's my thinking of why in Chinese, occasionally we have things that are not fully pronounced in one of the 4 tones. So here, 勇敢的心, right? We pronounce as 的心 very lightly. Instead of, if it's fully pronounced, it will be 的, but falling tone will be 勇敢的心. It would sound weird because this 的 is a connector word. It's not really important. It doesn't really have a essential inseparable meaning. It's a connector of this 勇敢 and 心. And actually Chinese, this is contemporary Chinese expression, used the 的 after 勇敢. 勇敢 both are kind of adjective, and when they pair together, they make sure it means brave. And then at the 的 at the end of this 2-character phrase to make sure Chinese users know this is a descriptor of whatever comes after it, the noun after it. So in English, this is one of the rare occasions that English is more brief, more succinct than Chinese expression. You will see in the next page. Okay, come back to 勇. Again, we have 2 farming tools represented in this character. We have on the left side is I call it an irrigation tool. That's for farming to keep the plant water. And that's the water barrel back then. And you can see kind of a wood blocks barrel. And over here is a handle for easy carrying. And I'm not sure about this hook device over there, because sometimes when in farming, when you have a lot of water irrigation or wider range of farmland you want to irrigate, one more efficient way, instead of carrying 2 barrels, right, by the handles, you kind of have to pull them. One efficient way is to use a staff, so kind of like a long stick thing, and have each side 2 barrels of water hanging on each side. So it's kind of balanced on its own, and you can use your leg muscles instead of your arm muscles to hold the two barrels at one time to do the irrigation. So I'm guessing here there's almost like a hook sign. It's such a but barrel hanging onto the staff device so that it's not easily fallen off. Okay, so that's my guess. And the right symbol is kind of a raking. So raking is for, not exactly for a gardening. In contemporary gardening, not that I know much about, but raking in contemporary gardening is more like gather the fallen leaves or twigs together, right? But this raking, I call it raking, probably is more like plowing. So sharp edges on the end, on one end, and the other end is more likely, again, like a hook up to animal powered cart or something. So it's moving across the land to loosen the surface soil. So that's the purpose of plowing, right? So both the plowing and irrigation bucket tool, these are the 2 major farming tools. And most likely it's adult males, farm hands are using them. And so I guess that tools eventually associated with grown males, and that kind of represent masculinity, people who has the muscle power to keep the crops growing. And in time of war, they are the forces to defend or to offend. So the farm hands were the source of the military force back then. So it's easier to understand now why farm tools symbols combined extended into this kind of bravery displayed in battlefield, because the subject matter of whoever is using the farm tools are the soldiers in the wartime. Okay, 敢. So 敢 is another expression to say bravery, but it has more gutsy feeling to it. It's almost like, okay, as humans, we have a distribution of how daring we are. Some people are more cautious, less prone to taking risks, or be confrontational. Others are more daring or daredevil, have that spirit of exploration at a greater risk. So this 敢 is higher end of that exploration or daring deeds. So you can see the writing of this dare character is different from all the other characters, because this character was noted from different era, time, different material, so that it's more like carved by knives. Therefore, it got sharp edges on it. But okay, the essence of it, we can see this 3-finger hand symbol on the bottom right. And then this could be another 3-finger hand symbol on the top. And then this is something that we don't know over time. Back then, it could be a certain tools being used. And then here is actually the ancient, or at least this rendering of Chinese, the mouth symbol, because it looks like an opening, right? But it got a sharp edge at the end. It could be a weaponry, but it could also be the mouth opening symbol stylized into a triangle instead of a rectangle shape. And then we have the number 10, which is a cross, exactly a cross symbol. So 10 mouths. One understanding that I can come up with is somebody who is daring enough or brave enough to fight, to take lives of 10 mouths. So mouths, each one represent a life. So basically your enemy in a battlefield that you use the hand, and probably this is some sharp weaponry. Use your hand, another hand, that you are able to kill that many people. So this dare to kill becomes this when it paired with this muscle power, masculinity symbol, together they mean the bravery in battlefield. Okay, so it's a connector, and I translate it as kind of. So it's almost like comparable to heart. No, to off, OF in English is a connector word. It's made of this sun symbol, which is kind of oval shape with one horizontal line. This horizontal line symbolizes the energy inside this sphere. And the right side, I view it as a stylized. So it's kind of a spoon looking stylized spoon, and then with the, I guess the soup or something, some substance in the middle of it, just like the sun. There's horizontal line to signify there are things, the substance. In the sun's case, it's energy. But in this spoon case, there's got to be some liquid, right? Nutrition being in the spoon. Okay, so there is a sort of a jump in between. Like why the sun and the spoon combined together, which originally means the bright, as if it's sun. So this visual effect of something as clear and bright as the sunlit fact or truth or the world becomes a connector word. That's something unknown, at least unknown to me at this moment. But this, in Chinese, we'll call it bai shao, because it looks like color white, and also this spoon shape with dot in between. We call it bai shao de. That's most commonly used, one of the most commonly used Chinese characters. If you read contemporary Chinese, that's the connector word between adjectives and nouns. And how this sun, and with a contemporary one, with one extra sun ray, that means the color of sun, it's white color, paired with the spoon, how it becomes the connector, I don't know. Okay, Xin simply is this chamber with 3 tubes to it. And the 2 tubes on the top, I view it as input, output, because the heart is a pump, right? And then the 3rd tube at the bottom is the bloodline to the heart itself, so that the heart has the energy to keep pumping. That's the basic ancient understanding of the heart anatomy back then. So 勇敢的心 simply is the Chinese translation of this movie, Braveheart. And this is one of the cases. You see, in English, we have Braveheart, 2 words. But in Chinese, we have to translate it into 心 is 1 word on 1 word. But 勇敢, we have to pair with 3 characters. So you can see this is a translation. I think in ancient Chinese, if we want to express 勇敢的心, there are some set phrase that doesn't come to mind right now that use 1 character as a descriptor of the heart and carry the meaning of it's brave. It's just it didn't come to me right now. Okay, I want to point out here, you see Mel Gibson, the main actor, translated into Chinese would add a dot in between, because Chinese characters, you can see here, 勇敢的, 3 characters forms 1 concept of English as brave. there's no separation between this adjective equivalent and the noun. So same when it comes to translation of actors' names. The first name and last name, if there's no dot here, for a Chinese reader, we wouldn't be able to tell if that's a separation between the first and last name. All the characters Chinese in one continuation of character without any punctuation, that's hard to tell. Unlike in English, there is a space in between. Chinese, before it's finished a sentence, there's no space in between words. All the characters, all the words in Chinese are connected continuously. There's no gap in between. So this spacing, when missing in Chinese passage, got solved by this dot in between the two first name and last name. So that's some specialty about Chinese, how when do translation of foreign names, this dot is inevitable to show two names actually there. Okay, cash into the frequency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.